All right, 9-1, multiply and divide rational expressions. How is multiplying and dividing rational expressions similar to multiplying and dividing fractions? When you multiply fractions, don't you just multiply straight across the top and straight across the bottom?
Yeah.
When you divide fractions, you keep it, change it, flip it. It's the same thing. What? Casey, yeah. All right, what's your middle name? Cheyenne. Okay. All right, rational expression. What is a rational expression? Well, what does rational mean? What does ratio mean?
Like against something. Like one's like.
Not in math, it doesn't.
I don't know how.
It means fraction. Rational expression. The ratio of two polynomials. Also known as a polynomial fraction.
Why don't we have 4 Friday? It's
It's a teacher work day. Not looking good. Hold on.
You need a pencil.
Those pens are crap. That's a good pen. I need it back. Oh, yeah. Jackson, would you rather have pencils?
No, I want to hold one.
You're special. You're specialist.
57.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's move on. What does it mean to be in simplest form? You cannot what?
Simplify.
Simplify or reduce it. The numerator, which is the top of the fraction, and denominator, which is the bottom of the fraction, have no common factor. No, I cannot pause this. Let me give you some examples of simplest form and not simplified. Ooh, almost made an M out of that. Simplest form. This is an example of an expression in simplest form. Think of it like there's parentheses on it, and it cannot break down the parentheses, so I can't cancel out the x's. What would something be that's not simplified? Hold on. I appreciate your exuberance. I could cancel an X out of the top and the bottom. Jonna, what do you need? Can you still, is that good?
Yeah.
Let me give you one more example of what simplified looks like compared to not simplified. X squared plus 3x plus 2, and I really hope you know how to factor by now.
Simplified or not?
It's under simplest form, so simplified. So we need factors of 2 that equal 3. I believe that's 1 and 2. So x plus 1, x plus 2. But none of those are the same, are they? So it will not simplify. Whereas if I had 3 times x minus 3 over x minus 3, I could cancel out the x minus 3's. All right, the expression is undefined if the denominator is equal to 0. This means any number that makes the denominator equal 0 must be restricted from the domain. So while you're finishing writing that, you're not allowed to have 0 in the bottom of a fraction. If you do it to a calculator, if you did 3 divided by 0, it would say syntax error. You're not allowed to do it. You can have 0 in the numerator, 0 up top, but you can't have 0 in the bottom. And with that, it is time for some examples. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 examples. But they're not going to be labeled example 7. It's going to be example 1, A, B, and C. And like I said, I really hope you have learned how to factor by now, because your life is going to be miserable if you have not. Audrey, is that good? Well, it was kind of dark, too. I just lightened it up. Yes? No. Honestly, until May, they're probably not even thinking about them. I'll look when we're done with the lesson. All right, Anna's bored, so let's go on. Did someone say no? All right, Jonathan, no worries. Hello? The mixer, please. Strawberry, then. That's fine. All right. Small one's fine. Thank you. Love you, bye. All right, John, are you ready?
Yeah.
That was good timing. Also, someone left a black shaker cup in my room. It's up by the calendar/Kleenex if anyone's missing it. It's been in here for like a week. All right, x squared plus 7x plus 10 over x squared minus 3x minus 10. All right, for the top, we need factors of 10 that equal 7. Our numbers are the same. They are both positive. What are my factors of 10 that equal 7? 2 and 5 is perfect. So x plus 2, x plus 5. On the bottom, we need factors of negative 10 that equal negative 3. The signs are different. The bigger one is negative. It's going to be the same exact ones, just with different signs. So let's do x minus 5, x plus 2. Can I cancel anything out that's the same on top and bottom?
For the fives.
The 2's. Well, that's a positive 5 and a negative 5. That's not the same. But plus 2, x plus 2 I can. So let's get rid of the x plus 2's. And now what is left? X plus 5 over x minus 5. Our direction said we need to restrict our domain. So we're not allowed to have a 0 in the denominator. What would make that a 0 is if x equal, nope, 0 minus 5 would be negative 5. So 5. 5 minus 5. Or you could think of it as this is in parentheses, so it is a liar. So we're not allowed to have 5 or negative 2. X cannot equal, that means cannot equal 5 or negative 2. That is your final answer, that whole thing. Yep, it can be any other, your domain can be any other number except for 5 or negative 2. And when we get to graphing this, there'll be an asymptote there.
No.
Yes, there will be, don't lie. All right, B, x cubed minus 5x squared minus 24x over x cubed minus x squared minus 72x. Yes. You'll find out in a minute.
Is that supposed to be five?
You don't have to. You can write next to it if you want instead of above it. Either way is fine. All right, is there a GCF I can factor out of the top 3? X. So I'm going to factor out an x. That's going to leave me x squared minus 5x minus 24. Will this factor, are there factors of negative 24 that equal negative 5? Let's think about this. I need factors of negative 24 that equal negative 5. Signs are different. The bigger one's negative. 1 and negative 24, nope. 2 and negative 12, nope. 3, actually this should be that equals negative 5. I had a typo. So negative 8 will work. Hold on, my beverage is here. Thank you. All right, so 3 and negative 8 work, correct? So this is going to factor into x plus 3 and x minus 8. So, Jonna, that's why I left space. But you can do it going sideways if you want instead. That's fine. All right, what can I factor out of the bottom? So that's going to give me x squared minus x minus 72. This one's actually not that hard to factor in your head. What is the first factor of 72 that comes into your mind? 8 and 9. So this one says the signs are different. The bigger one has to be negative. So x minus 9. X plus 8. From there, what can I slash out? Let's see. How about the x? Just the plain x. I can get rid of that, right? Did I make a mistake? What's going on here? Hold that thought. Give me just a second. I'm having a brain cramp. Oh, I wrote this wrong. This is supposed to be a positive x squared. So when that's a positive x squared, that makes this positive, which makes that negative. I hate when I do stupid stuff like that. I messed up the sign when I wrote the problem. That was supposed to be a plus sign there. So then we can cross out the 8. Yep, so we got rid of the x minus 8 and we got rid of the x. So what is left? Yes. X plus 3 over x plus 9. Sorry about that. So then what am I not allowed to have in the denominator? What is that x equals 0? So x cannot equal, that would be a 0. That would be a negative 9. And that would be an 8. Right there, just x by itself is 0. What minus 8 is 0? 8. You're not allowed to have a 0 in the bottom, so what would make that equal 0? Not O. I'm just kidding. 8. All right, let's move on. Let's see if I can write this problem correctly. I feel shame now. All right, 12 minus 4x over x squared minus 9. First of all, is this in standard form? Is a exponent is a variable first? No. So I personally would rewrite it as negative 4x plus 12 over x squared minus 9. And then I would start, what is common between 4 and 12? 4. I'm actually going to factor out of negative 4, and I'll show you why in a second. It really doesn't matter that much. I just find it easier if I do it like that. What are my factors of 9 that equals 0? Yep, factors of 9 that equals 0. 3 and 3. Or this is called the difference of two squares. We did this back in like October. X squared minus 9. Yes, x squared. Squared means 2. All right, what can I cancel out now? X minus 3 and x minus 3. So what is left? And the second part is we need to know what our restrictions are. X cannot equal, what would make either one of those 0? 4 plus 3 is 7. Negative 3 and positive 3. So x cannot equal positive or negative 3. Because you're not allowed to have 0 in a denominator. Why not what? Positive 3? Yeah, I said positive 3. Positive or minus 3. Because 3 minus 3 equals 0. 0 times x plus 3 would be 0. So that would give us 0 in the denominator, which we're not allowed to do. Clara, settle down. What, Jonah? All right, turn the paper over, please. What?
I had a question on that.
Yes.
Why did you write 4 parentheses x minus 3? Why did you do that?
Because what's the common factor between negative 4 and 12? Negative 4. So I pull the negative 4 out. Negative 4 times x is negative 4x. Negative 4 times negative 3 is positive 12. I factored out the GCF of that.
Okay.
You are welcome. All right, 4 more examples, then we're done. Even though this is example 2. 2A to be precise. What is the product? Product is what operation? Multiplication. Good job, Kate. God bless you. God bless you. 3x over 8y times 12x squared y. Yep, 2a. All right, we have two options right now. You can either cross cancel or reduce right now, or you can multiply it all together and then reduce. Doesn't matter which one you do. Does not matter. Whatever makes you feel warm and fuzzy inside. On this one, we'll multiply it together first. 3 times 12 is x times x squared. And then the y is just kind of chilling by itself. 8 times 9. There's only one x. And y times y cubed is... Alright, so now what we can do is reduce it. What goes into 36 and 72? 36. 36 goes into 36. Once. 36 goes into 72. Twice. I have 3 x's on top and 1 on the bottom, so I subtract. 3 minus 1 is 2. So, or another way to look at it is this one canceled out, and we got rid of 3. We got rid of one of them, so if it was a 3, it turns into a 2. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. Negatives go on the bottom. So let's just write this a little cleaner so I don't get confused. So we had an x squared and a y on. We have an x squared on top. The y's canceled out, correct?
What happened to the 2?
What 2? All right, so Kyla, what 2? This 2?
Yeah.
We're not that far yet. All right, so the 2 is on the bottom, the x is canceled out, and we had y1 minus y4, which was negative 3. If it's negative, it goes on bottom. So there we go. That's our final answer. We're not going to worry about restrictions on this one.
Wait, isn't that the same rule? Like, if it's positive, whichever one is like greater,
Goes on top. If it's positive, it goes on top. If it's negative, it goes on bottom.
There's like another rule where it's like,
I'm not familiar with that. So, all right, example 2b. (2x minus 8 over x squared minus 16 times x squared plus 5x plus 4 over x squared plus 8x plus 16. And I have my signs right. I double checked them so we don't have any more kerfuffles. On this one, what we have to do is factor each one of those 4 terms. That's why I'm saying I hope you know how to factor by now, because if you don't, this is not going to go well for you. Can I pull out anything from 2x minus 8? 2. And that gives me x minus 4. This is a perfect square. This is a perfect square. This is a subtraction sign, so this is difference of 2 squares. So it's going to be x plus 4 and x minus 4. All right, next. All right, on the top, what are my factors of 4 that equal 5? 1 and 4. So x plus 1, x plus 4. What are my factors of 16 that equal 8? Nope. 4 and 4. Well, we're going to cancel right now. So, yeah, that would not be. Now is not the time for that. All right, is there anything we can get rid of? The x minus 4 and the x minus 4. We have an x plus 4 and an x plus 4, and I believe that's it. So what is left? 2 times x plus 1 over, now if you wanted to, Kate, here, what? Right there. X plus 4, x plus 4, or if Kate you want, you can do x plus 4 squared. What is x not allowed to equal? Plus or minus 4. That is your final answer.
X plus 4 squared, I guess, okay.
Mm-hmm. Yes. There's not an x plus 1 on the bottom, so I can do negative 1. I'm using it. I gave you my Katie pen last week and you stole it. No. So you're guilty by association. No. I gave Jackson my pen. Get my pen from her. Jonna, get my Katie pen from Annalise. You are so full of crap, your eyes are brown. They're brown now because you're full of crap.
I had to walk home in the rain one time from my mom's house. It's okay. Is this example like 3A or C?
3A. Well, we have special people in the back.
I think they're special.
What kind of socks we got today? I'm sorry, what? Nice. All right, so what's the only thing different when you divide? You have to do something to the second term. Yep, keep it, change it, flip it. So we keep this. All right, so 2 minus x over x squared plus 2x plus 1. All right, keep it, change it, now you flip it. So x squared minus 1. It's also known as a reciprocal in math land. It doesn't like you either. No, not you. Alright, so now we just solve it like we did on the other one. The only thing is this is not in standard form, so I don't personally like that. So I would rewrite it as negative x plus 2. And then I would probably rewrite it as negative 1 x minus 2. Alright, what are my factors of 1 that equal 2? Factors of 1 that equal 2 would be 1 and 1. Alright, this is the difference of 2 squares, so this is going to be x plus 1. x minus 1. You can't what? Factors of negative 10 that equal 3, negative 5 and 2. What? What? All right, so all we've done is we've factored every single term up there that we could, which was all of them. That's an x minus 2. That's an x minus 2. You visually impaired people, I'll zoom in. All right, so now we're going to get rid of as much stuff as we can. We're going to pretend we're Jason at Crystal Lake. All right, x minus 2, bye-bye. X plus 1, goodbye. Is there anything else we can get rid of? I don't think so. So what is left on this top left is just negative 1. What's left on the top right? X minus 1. What is left on the bottom left? X plus 1 is left right there. X plus 5 is left there. The only thing we have to do left is restrict our domain. We cannot have negative 1, negative 5, or positive 2.
So the way you can tell if it's and lines?
Yep. Because really what you're doing is saying x plus 5 equals 0, because it can't equal 0. Minus 5, x cannot equal negative 5. Yes. What? Because what do we have right there? X minus 2. So it's still there when you start the problem, though.
Would it be positive and negative 5?
No. All right. Because even though it's canceled out to begin the problem, it's there. So you're not allowed to. The simplified domain form has the same domain as the original, so it doesn't matter. Next week, I think, when we go to graph this. What? All right, so there's actually going to be an asymptote or a hole there where those numbers are. Annalise, you texting your mom, find my pen. All right, example 4, last one for today. And we only have 8 minutes left. Yes. 10d to the 5th over 6cd divided by 30c cubed d squared. No, time waits for no one.
I didn't say that.
All right, so this is division. So before we even start, what do we have to do? Keep it, change it, flip it. So this is going to be 10d to the 5th over 6cd. Keep it, change it, flip it. Also known as the reciprocal, the good math word. So on this one, do we want to cross cancel first or multiply straight across first? All right, 10 times 4 is C comes before D5. And now on the bottom, 6 times 30. 6 times 3 is 18, add a 0, 180. C times C cubed is C, and D times D squared. All right, so now we just have to simplify it. All right, what'll go into 40 and 180? Well, first thing I could do is just cross off the zeros, correct? So those go away, and that's like dividing by 10. What goes into 4 and 8? 2 does. So 4 divided by 2 is 2. 18 divided by 2 is 9.
Do the zeros just cancel?
Yes, because I divided by 10. 1 minus 4 is 3, so that's going to give me a C3 on the bottom. If it's negative, it goes on bottom. If it's positive, it goes on top. 5 minus 3 is, that is your final answer. No, because it's C would have to, cannot equal 0 and D cannot be, which is pretty standard. All right, wasn't that fun?
No.